everybody. Welcome into the Basketball Bulletin. I'm Trevor Lane. He's Donnie Freeman. We've got a lot of stuff to get into tonight because, you know, the NBA news cycle this time of year, it just never stops. We just got a big piece dropped by Mark Stein about 30 minutes ago or so. I think it was Jake Fisher's stuff on Stein. I never know whose it is. Jake Fisher, Mark Stein, one of them wrote about some of the latest going on. We've got that crazy Kevin O'Connor piece, the Warriors. They want to lure LeBron James to Golden State by trading for Anthony Davis. Good Lord. Marcus Smart may be leaving the Lakers. The Kawhi Leonard back to the Raptors stuff. We got to get it. We got a lot of stuff to talk about here. Donnie, how are you doing? How are you holding up now? Here we are. Free agency hasn't even technically started yet for 36 hours or so away from it starting. How are you doing? How's the energy reserves right now?
I'm doing pretty good. But I'll get accustomed to it. I should be asking you that because you're doing all these channels and stuff, man. I don't know how I always say I don't know how you do it. Like I got my own thing on the side, but I don't know how you manage as much as you do with the volume you do.
I'm good, man. I'm there. I'm hanging in there. I'm going strong right now. I'm going strong right now. By the end, I'm going to take a nice long rest by the end of all. But no, right now I'm doing good. You know what? It is, every time I start to feel like, man, I'm getting a little worn down right now. Boom, we get something fresh that comes out, and I'm
every 5 minutes we're getting something new right now.
RKO out of nowhere. Every time you pop, and you're like, whoa, that's happening. Are you kidding me? You know, it's that's what tells me I'm in the right business. I'm still getting fired up for all of this stuff. Now that I am, I guess technically on the cusp of 11 years into this.
Oh, nice. We're like right at the same thing. I've been on YouTube for about 11 years too. So
yeah,
that's why we get along so good at this.
Yeah.
But I will say really quick, it's just to clarify, it is some stuff that's completed deals, but a lot of it's also just rumors, this and that. But you know, we're still getting a lot of just information in general. And I have to specify because there are people like we talk about that don't care about the rumors and they don't, you know, but it's fun to talk about regardless.
Rosemary said, Trev's seeing colors. Yeah, well, by the end of it, when I truly earn my rest, that's the point where I'm hearing colors. That's always a great spot to be in. Let's talk about this whole Warriors going after LeBron. We'll talk about Marcus Smart. We'll talk about all the other stuff that's bouncing around. But we'll start here. Let's go to, and of course, we'll be taking questions and comments from the chat. The way to make sure your comment gets read, as long as it's not something crazy, is to send it in the form of super chat. But Kevin O'Connor had this a little bit ago that the Warriors want LeBron and Anthony Davis, and their plan is to try to use Jimmy Butler's contract to trade for AD. Now, KOC did say it's unlikely because the Wizards are pretty set on hanging on to Anthony Davis. But to me, Donnie, it feels like the Warriors are pretty desperate if they're trying to play out the plot of the Expendables on an NBA court.
It's just, I don't, they just keep on adding new old guy names to this. Like, I don't. It's just kind of interesting, but
didn't the Lakers do that a few years back? It was like Carmelo Anthony and Dwight Howard, and
we know how that turned out. Like,
you
remember the infamous keep talking about my team and our ages tweet? Did he delete that tweet too?
I had repressed that. Oh, that was so bad.
We got some fun media day pictures though from those guys. That's what I will say. But yeah, I think the players associated with Golden State are probably at a better point in their careers, of course, sans LeBron, I guess, but and AD actually, but maybe not. Anyway, yeah, but for them, they are relatively desperate, right? It's the tail end of the Steph era, and they're trying to go out with a bang. They're trying to give him what they can to have a shot. And there doesn't seem to be a pathway with doing that with a younger player. So they're forced to kind of look at these 30-year-olds and above.
AD played 20 games. He appeared total. The Luka trade was a year and a half ago. AD played 29 games total for the Dallas Mavericks. Once they traded, AD's injury miraculously got significantly worse once the Mavericks traded him to the Wizards. No idea why. That tank was not going to be slowed down. But AD has not played for the Wizards yet. If they were to flip him to the Golden State Warriors, that's a pretty significant gamble if you're Golden State on a guy who has dealt with significant injuries and is going to be wanting a new contract.
Yep.
That's the other piece to this. But let's say they pull it off. Let's say we suspend disbelief and they do it. Draymond Green is good buddies with LeBron. Steph Curry has won gold with LeBron.
Yep.
Anthony Davis has won gold with LeBron and won an NBA championship with LeBron. Like, would LeBron be able to resist that? That's a lot.
Yeah, that would definitely be pretty interesting. I think that for LeBron, there's just, like we talked about a lot, there's just so many different possible outcomes here. Retirement, I guess, is still on the table. Every time I see a picture of him with that full gray beard, man, it's just like, this guy's like really comfortable. Like it's like he's like real comfortable enjoying his offseason. I know part of me is like, this guy, I know everyone's like, oh, he's a narcissist, blah, blah, blah. He loves it. Okay, fine. But like, he seems like he's really enjoying just golfing. So I wonder about that. But yeah, there's that, the Lakers bit of it all. There's the Heat stuff that's been talked about a lot lately as well. Golden State's been in the mix. Cleveland, of course, as always. Like, there's just kind of a lot of different outcomes here. But I think it would be definitely pretty interesting if they could land AD and use him as a lure. And then maybe, hopefully, AD is healthy for, a few years. Oh, my God. Did you see the one today, though? The one today.
No, there's a new one today?
Yeah, the one. He's doing the little lip up mug thing he does. And it's a straight shot of him. But, yeah.
He's golfing?
It's just a straight self. He is out golfing though, but it's just a straight shot of his face. But yeah, use AD as a lure. Hopefully he's healthy and he could be a guy they have for a few years and stuff like that. So did you find it?
I just found it.
Yeah.
Oh my God. He looks like the Uncle Drew version of LeBron.
Yeah. He looks he looks like he's enjoying life, man. Somebody had a side by side of him and the last game of the season and then now, and it's like obviously he was dyeing his beard, but he looks so different.
I'm wondering, like, are we dismissing the idea of him retiring too soon here? Because it feels like everybody's leaning into, well, LeBron is playing next season.
Yeah, I think
he looks like he's enjoying life right now.
I think odds are that he's playing, and that would be a safe bet. But he does look like he's enjoying life, man. Like,
man.
And if you notice, he's getting closer to the end because now last season he would do like these post game interviews and he's like, I don't know, I'm just worried about golfing or whatever he would say. Now he's out there golfing, posting every day about golfing. I saw a rumor that he joined a country club somewhere, and I'm like, oh my God, this guy.
Look, Luka is into golf now too. Reeves is into golf. This is team golf at this point. Remember when it was wine? They were all into drinking.
Yeah.
They probably still are, but now suddenly it's golf.
Well, now they're younger now, so they're not as LeBron's kind of like the old man. Well, he is old man, but the other guys are all like in their mid to late 20s on this team. He can't relate to those young dudes anymore.
That's it.
Yeah, this is like that.
This is Lethal Weapon Danny Glover version of LeBron right here. The I'm too old for this shit version of LeBron. All right, so the Warriors may try to. I think the big takeaway. I don't know if they get Anthony Davis. I don't know if they swing that, but if they do, that would have to be a really interesting lure for LeBron James to play with some of his best friends in the league. But I think the bigger takeaway is the Warriors are pretty desperate to try to do everything they possibly can to give Steph Curry a winning season, even doing extreme stuff like going after AD, who wants a contract extension, long injury history, but using that as the lure to get LeBron. Like they're going all out to try to give Steph a winner here before he sails off in the sunset.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's definitely pretty interesting to see them trying to do that. I think the interesting thing about these guys is that they're not trying to give up the picks in any of this stuff. Like, it's not like they're out there trading, because that was the one thing where they were willing to do was like a Giannis, which I can understand. But they're getting guys, they're linked to guys that they don't probably have to give up their future picks for. Like for AD, what are you really giving up? He's asking for max money, etc. You'd probably, if you're Golden State, do you want to pay him that for another 5 years? I don't know. But what are you really giving up? But secondly, if you're Washington, you just got the guy. Like, do you not want to?
He hasn't even played a game for them.
Like, do you like what was the point? So,
but what if the Wizards say we really don't want to be the team to pay him on a max contract? And what if you can get? You got to get something from. I mean, the matching salary is Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler comes back healthy before the trade deadline. You could then maybe flip Jimmy in another deal, but you'd have to get something. Maybe I don't know. Hey, how about Moses Moody? Like he's injured, very, very injured, right? That horrific injury he suffered during the playoffs.
He's not going to be back anytime soon, is he?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. If you're the Wizards, you can afford to wait. Like you get a really good young player in Moses Moody. You're not worried about how quickly he comes back. And there you go. Or what if you can get like a Brandon Pajemski or something along those lines, some type of draft capital, something like that. That could be interesting.
Yeah, I guess.
Although Trae Young probably wouldn't be thrilled.
And I guess you kind of care about that, considering you decided to just max him. So,
although he could use his $212 million to dry his tears.
That's
all right,
definitely a possibility.
Let's get to this super chat that comes in from Keon. Thanks, Keon. We appreciate the super chat. Said as great as Steph and Dre are, if I'm LeBron and really thinking of leaving, I'd rather choose the Heat and play with Giannis and Bam of the Warriors, Steph, AD, Dre, and Al. The Heat have a better chance to win. I thought it was interesting that Al Horford was opting out of his deal and the Warriors were giving him a new deal.
Yeah.
Like, man, he didn't play that much, that great last year. But do you agree with that? Is Giannis and Bam plus LeBron better than Steph, AD, Draymond plus LeBron?
Healthy, no. I think the Steph team has at least a 1 year higher ceiling, just because they fit better as well.
If AD
they're
healthy,
yeah, you have to get AD back there. That's kind of hard. But will AD be healthy? I don't know.
I mean, well, yeah, that's the thing. We don't know if AD would be healthy or not. But if you would, now the other thing is East versus West, probably a bit of a cleaner path in the East.
Well, I don't want to say that like the East didn't just win a championship this year.
No. But if you had to pick between the two,
I think the fit is a little clunky with LeBron, Bam, Giannis. Frankly, I think the Bam Giannis fit is maybe a little clunky, just at least in my head. I need to see it on the court. I can understand where it would work. Yeah, I can understand where it would work, at least with those two without LeBron. But I could also see where it may be a bit clunky. So I'll just have to see what they figure out. But if you add LeBron to the equation, I think it would work, and that would be or I think it could work if they figure out the roles appropriately, and LeBron could be, one of the lead playmakers on that team. I think that'd be pretty good. You almost need to. Do you need to move Hero in that scenario? Obviously, you'd prefer to keep him for the depth and having another perimeter player that can get to the basket, shoot, etc.
From the Heat?
Yeah. If
Hero's on the Bucks.
Yes, Jesus Christ. This is why I don't record this late, Trevor. This is why I don't do it. This is why
the off-season is breaking you.
This is why I don't do it. Did I tell you? Hold on. I texted you. I said, can we go earlier?
Yep, you did.
You said, I said, I'm thinking 8:30. I said, I'm going to be no good by like 9 o'clock.
Donnie's been trying to get me to do this show earlier. And I said, no, I'm publishing something for Lakers Nation. He's like, I'm going to be no good to you.
I said, I know I'm going to be no good at like 9 o'clock, dude.
Oh, man.
So forget that. Everything else I said was fine.
Did you see that the Lakers had trade talks for Tyler Hero and Kel'el Ware?
Yeah.
That had to be Austin Reeves leaving. That had to be that type of eventuality, right? You can't put Hero and Reeves together.
Okay, I mean, the Lakers would try to do it, and they're gonna do that and add Jock Landale to the team and
Jock Landale. Who else was it? Oh, Dean Wade, Jock Landale, and then Cam Johnson.
Oh my God,
man!
This team is this. They think they're still in Minnesota, man. I don't know that that's the right place. It may not be the right place. Utah. They should go to Utah. They belong in Utah.
They go to Utah. Speaking of the Heat, they are desperately looking for guards. Really, that's what they're looking for right now. It's to the point where they're potentially trying to offload some salary for Nikola Jovic, because it would ask, what could the Heat, how much money could they offer LeBron? The Warriors could probably get to a full mid-level, which would be about $15.1 million that they could offer. Meanwhile, the Heat are really up against it. They've got multiple roster spots they have to fill after making the Giannis trade. And they don't really have much in the way of guards right now on this roster. So you've got Davion Mitchell, but Norman Powell's a free agent. The idea has been floated out there that they need to attach whatever they have to Nikola Jovic in order to move that salary so that they can keep Norman Powell, so they at least have Davion Mitchell and Norman Powell in the backcourt. And I don't disagree with that. Otherwise, Davion Mitchell and not much else. I mean, Pell Larson is fine, but you're not really getting anywhere as is. So they've really got to do some work on their backcourt, and that's going to be something to keep an eye on. Can the Heat actually shed some salary? Specifically, Jovic seems to be the guy they're trying to move off of, but he's got 4 years under contract. Not a bad player, but that's a long-term deal that they thought was going to really provide bang for their buck down the stretch. But now they've got to move off of somebody, and he seems to be the clearest choice if they're going to move somebody and get a guard back. Unless maybe they can get a new deal for Andrew Wiggins. Can you give him $60 million for 3 years? Can you give him $70 million for 3? That would at least drop a little bit of salary off of this coming season.
Yeah, I wonder if players and teams look at that Hardenstein and say, can we try to do that too? Like, I think that'd be beneficial to everybody, where they take it off and just renegotiate, basically.
Yeah,
that may be a thing. Did you see Jovic's comments on the trade?
No.
He had some comments. He was asked about how he feels about always being in trade rumors. He was like, well, I've been in trade rumors like 8 times over the last year. He's like, I was a Kyrie twice and XYZ players. I can't think of it right now, of course, but he listed all the different guys, and he was like, it's just kind of what comes with it. And definitely that's one way to take it, but it just goes to show that, like I was saying, Miami had been in a lot of different star talks, and they finally land the guys, which is really cool. But he is one of their lone pieces left that they can kind of dangle out there and maybe use to get something back. And he's not a good deal. I mean, 8.5% of the cap. I'll take that.
It's just what you sign up for. If you become a member of the Miami Heat, the Lakers, you're always going to be in trade rumors. It's the way that it's not comfortable for players for sure, but it's what you sign up for. It's what you know is going to happen. You're going to be involved in trade. Players, we always get excited when the trade deadline's coming up. For players, it's an added stress, and for a lot of them, it's a sigh of relief when they get through the trade deadline and have not been traded.
Yep.
Let's talk about this Marcus Smart stuff. So Dan Wojcicki had this that it's growing really loud. Jake Fisher had it as well on the Substack with Marcus Smart. Basically, it sounds like the Houston Rockets are preparing a 3-year deal for Marcus Smart, which this is like tiptoeing as close to the tampering line as you possibly can without technically going over it, I suppose. I don't know. Some might argue that you are going over it. 3-year deal for Marcus Smart at more. He is not a free agent that Houston could talk to until the 30th at 3 p.m. Pacific time. It sure as hell sounds like it's already been communicated to Marcus Smart that he is a 3-year contract waiting for him at a higher annual number than Smart's $5.4 million player option with the Lakers. And that's led to more anticipation. Smart will bypass the option to become an unrestricted free agent on Tuesday. So what do you think about that? And do we see this potentially go down the road of Dorian Finney-Smith, where the Rockets built in protection in the latter years of that contract? Although even so, they're still trying to clear Finney-Smith off of their books, even though they've built in the protection, because that's how bad that deal's turned out for them.
Yeah, I mean, it's right now, I think a lot of teams have probably already figured out exactly what their moves are. To be honest with you, like I texted you, I think these teams have already figured all this out, because normally a few years ago, we'd have like all the official deals that are coming out during this period. And then the NBA was like, hey, we don't want this appearance of all this tampering. So now they started waiting and holding. And then what's going to happen is when the moratorium lifts, we're going to get a slow trickle, because then it turned into we get all the deals at once as soon as the moratorium ended.
Oh, no. You mean when the free agency buzzer sounds, that when we actually hit 3 p.m. Yeah, because Pacific time on the 30th, moratorium won't lift until July 6th. But you're right. Yeah, we're going to, rather than, because you're right, for a little while there, it was the second, like, it used to be midnight, right? It was midnight.
As soon as it finished, the deals came in one after
the deals would just, the tidal wave would be unleashed. Then the NBA was like, you're telling me that you negotiated a 3-team sign and trade with 8 players involved in 2 minutes? And then they got mad. And so
what I will say,
they changed that up a bit.
On the tampering thing, they don't have to have talked to Marcus specifically. You know why?
Oh, why?
They actually have two guys on the team that have the same representation, Jeff Green and Aaron Holiday. This is where tampering is kind of funny, because it's like, do you have to talk to Marcus Smart, or can you just talk to his agent about one of the guys that's already on the team and say, hey, just so you know, we've also got, this is how our books look. So, we would love to keep Jeff Green. We'll offer him this, but this is what we have available, just so you know.
Can we just send a message via carrier pigeon?
You don't even have to imply. You don't even have to say his name. You just say, just wink, wink. This is what we have. If there's any other combo guards on the market.
I mean, Jeff Green is 57 years old, so he can break out his rotary phone and call up Marcus Smart and say, hey, Marcus, listen, this is what we think we'll have for you, a 3-year deal. If you were the Lakers, would you balk at the idea of giving Marcus Smart 3 years? I mean, this was the healthiest season he's had in years, and he played 61, 62 games off the top of my head. Would it be wiser to not commit 3 years to Marcus Smart?
Given the injury history, yes.
It's hard because I love what he brings, though.
Yeah, but given the injury history, this seems like it's an outlier for the last few years for him. The most recent season, and he was still missing time. So, yeah, he can be a bit reckless out there, and that can lead to injuries. But he's tough; he'll play through them. But he's still hurt at the end of the day. So you'd have to structure it in a similar way, like you mentioned, to DFS. But does he want that? Because if he's taking a deal like this, he's trying to get as much long-term financial flexibility as possible.
And that would be 100% what I'd be trying to do if I were Marcus Smart. Give me as many years as you can so that I know 3 years from now I'm still making millions. And if I go blow my knee out or whatever happens, and knock on wood, I hope that doesn't happen for Marcus Smart. Just he has a long injury history. I'm trying to protect myself as much as I can if I'm Marcus Smart.
Yeah, and that's where it's like, man, I'd love to get him back on a 2-year deal, 3-year deal, team option, not a player option. That'd be great. But will he sign that? Maybe that's the best that he's got out there as an offer. So he'll be kind of forced into it, because at the bare minimum is still 1 more year. Mm-hmm. So, maybe that's where we're at. But yeah, that could be pretty interesting. But for Houston, I don't necessarily hate it, but I think they would love to negotiate a deal similar to DFS.
It's funny because it's the same thing they did last year, going after the Lakers' older defensive player, and it completely blew up in their faces to the point where they only have 1 year remaining on DFS's deal, and they're like trying to get off of this salary, the 1 year, because they can't wait to just decline this non-guaranteed 3rd year and be rid of him. The DFS is a great guy, but just the injury stuff they dealt with didn't work out. So they're like, well, it didn't work last year. Let's go do the exact same thing for an older injury-prone guy who had a good defensive season for the Lakers. Let's go do that again. I don't know. Maybe this time it will work. Marcus Smart is a great culture setter too for a team, but it is kind of funny, a little bit ironic that Houston is turning around and doing the same thing that worked out so terribly for them last year.
Yeah, they have a history of that, because they did something like that a decade and a half ago too.
A decade and a half ago?
Yeah.
With Ron Artest and Trevor Ariza?
No, that's a little too far, Trev.
That was way before that. But that was the Lakers were getting the veteran guy. Oh, you're talking about Dwight Howard?
Yeah. They like trying to take from the Lakers. That's what it is.
Right. They like taking guys from the Lakers.
Taking the guys from the Lakers, man. There's probably some other stuff in there too. But yeah, it depends on what the number actually truly comes in at. Like, I can't be too mad if it's a small number close to what he's currently on, but for 3 years. But if he's at like a 9-10 million for 3 years, then maybe I'll tell you. But DFS also, I will say really quick, I know they're trying to get off that, but there's also a chance last year was just an outlier season for him as well, because he missed like damn near the whole year.
Yep.
And then when he came back, he was garbage, and they chose not to play him.
Not himself.
So, yeah, there's a chance that's the case too.
If the Lakers do lose Marcus Smart, they're going to have to. I think even if they don't lose Marcus Smart, they have to find more point of attack defensive players. If they lose him, suddenly it's like point of attack defensive players, a starting center. Like the list just grows that much farther. And unfortunately, losing him, because he's only a $5.4 million player option, it's not like it opens up that much spending power or anything like that for them. That would be a big loss. He was the guy that poured gasoline on the fire of Reeves, LeBron, Luka on the floor together. It was when you added Smart to that mix, they got much better. Zaire Williams ain't going to fix that. That's for sure. Donnie, I mentioned over on Lakers Nation, I watched Zaire Williams, and I just get Cam Reddish vibes, man. I do. And everybody has such a negative opinion on him, but it's the kind of player you like to gamble on, but they physically they look so similar in terms of their build, their height, the way they move, all of that I do get kind of Cam Reddish vibes from Zaire Williams.
Did he kill the Lakers? Because if he did, Rob's definitely interested.
He did. In fact,
Rob's
the average out of all teams that he played last year, this past season, that he played more than once. So it wasn't just a one game thing.
Oh, okay.
He averaged more points against the Lakers than any other team and shot 50-something% from the field and 40% from three.
Yeah, Rob's interested.
Yep. That's all it takes. You play well against the Lakers, Rob Pelinka will sign you. Get 2 seconds from Denver to take Cam. Now have 3 seconds to get off of Vando. Let Rui walk. Offer $35 million for Kessler. I wonder though, if you're Denver and you've got Cam Johnson and you're seeing what the Oklahoma City Thunder did with Aaron Wiggins and Isaiah Joe, if you're just saying, well, no, give us seconds for Cam Johnson. OKC just got seconds for Isaiah Joe and Aaron Wiggins. Cam Johnson's a good player. Give us seconds for him. Although he does make almost double, actually does make double what those two guys make. I would imagine, though, that Denver is wanting to surrender 0 assets and maybe actually get assets for Cam Johnson.
I'm sure they would love to. But I also would think maybe teams decide to play hardball.
Then why didn't they do it with OKC?
Well, they don't have the same leverage against OKC because their star is under the contract.
That's true.
Denver's star is kind of teetering. It's like,
Jokic is like, well, maybe I won't extend after all.
And I think he still will stay, but he's not under an extension now. So, you get a little bit more, and they probably are feeling the pressure now. If he's not going to sign that extension until the season starts, after the offseason, whatever it is, if he doesn't sign it, every day that passes by, that's the day that Denver doesn't have leverage.
How many teams, if they knew Jokic was going to be a free agent in 2027, how many teams would completely alter their plans this summer?
Oh, a lot. Damn near all of them.
A bunch, right?
All of them. He's the type of guy that he can turn your franchise around. So
big time. Man, I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think he's actually going to hit free agency. I think he will re-sign with Denver, but it seems like he's, the question that was posed earlier today was if Jokic is going to hold Denver's feet to the fire, if he's going to wait to sign that extension, how long is he going to wait? How long is that wait going to continue? Is that going to go to August? Is that going to go to October? What are we talking about? Because the longer it goes, the more Denver starts to sweat. Yeah. And the more other teams are going to be very interested in what's going on in Denver.
I think Cam is also on a good deal. $23 million for his skill set, his size. I don't mind that. But regardless, they may have to pay to get off everybody.
Christian Brown, Cam Johnson.
Even Aaron Gordon.
There's reportedly a lot of interest in Aaron Gordon, though.
Yeah.
But Julian Strother, there's some interesting players there in Denver.
Gordon
But if
tweeted
it
that
means
he's
they
not
get to
the
keep
healthy.
Peyton Watson, especially, I'll tell you what, Donnie, if let's say, purely hypothetical, let's say July 1st, somebody, one of the cap space teams, offers Peyton Watson $25 million and Denver wants to match that. And they haven't moved off of salary yet. Now the clock is ticking. Now I'm really demanding a lot from Denver in order to get off that salary.
Yeah, that's gonna be a tough situation to be in. So that could be their worst fear. Fortunately for them, I don't think a team is gonna offer him $25 million right now.
I mean, there was a report from a couple days ago that if they would blink if a team offered 30.
Yeah, I just don't see it just because of RFA stuff.
I see no point in this super chat said, I see no point in LeBron going to a new team at this point. If he's going to leave the Lakers, one last year in Cleveland makes the most sense. Well, that would either have to be a sign and trade or it would have to be a veteran minimum type deal. What do you think is more likely? Do you think LeBron actually would take a veteran minimum if he got to finish his career in Cleveland or whatever, I guess?
No, I don't think I'll ever see him take a vet minimum.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only reason he would take a vet minimum is because he wanted them to keep all their players.
Right. Yeah.
That's the only reason.
Yeah, we've talked a lot about, could there be a Jared Allen for LeBron sign and trade or something along those lines? But if you're LeBron, you're going, well, wait, no, I want Jared Allen on the team. I don't want to go to the Cleveland and not have Jared Allen there. I really don't know what he's going to do at this point. I really don't know. Nobody feels like the Lakers have kind of moved on, or at least they're prepared to move on without him. I don't think they would not want him back, but pretty clearly this team is not being built with him in mind at all. But getting anywhere else means taking way less money, and all of them seem to have some drawbacks to him going there. Like the Cavs, okay, now you're far away from LA, far away from your family. Do you want to do that for a whole season? That's why I kind of wonder, like, what if this is all just a retirement swerve that we get last minute here?
Yeah, I mean, it could be just because the amount of money I think is the biggest concern here. Like, I think if he was willing to take a minimum, there'd be a dozen more teams that are interested in him because all of a sudden teams that don't have any avenue to getting him could get him, and he could be a piece that puts them over the top. I think that for him, I don't think anybody knows, but I do think for him, it's going to be in one of those destinations we talked about earlier for sure. If he does play, I do think that's still most likely. I personally wouldn't write off, again, like we talked about the gray beer stuff. I wouldn't write off him calling it just, I know it's not expected because attention, right? But I wouldn't write it off as just a foregone conclusion that it's not a possibility at all. I do think he's thinking about it just as I think he always thinks about it. But yeah, I don't know. I think for him, staying in LA or going to Cleveland make the most sense personally. I don't think Golden State makes a ton of sense. I think I could see the Heat, but other than that, I think just Cleveland or LA makes the most sense.
I wonder how it feels with Pat Riley.
Yeah, they would have to set whatever little beef they had aside. They've been pretty cordial, every time the topic is broached since then. But, I think Dan Gilbert did Comic Sans once upon a time. So,
that's true. That's true.
It doesn't really matter. He's had guys that he's played against. Like, LeBron's been pretty forgiving throughout his career. So,
yeah.
Is Pat willing to be forgiving? Probably in his old age now, he doesn't give a damn either.
Probably. All right, let's check this out. Polestar said, how couldn't the Lakers get Miles? He would fit at home given this is the house Kobe built. Sorry, had to get the shot in at Lakers fans. They're disrespecting my king too much. I have no idea what any of that means. You talking about Miles Bridges?
Yeah, I assume so. He would fit at home given this is the house Kobe Denver built. Sorry, I had to get this shot in that Laker fan. They're respecting it. Steph, Bron, AD, let's go. I don't get it either.
Okay.
I don't get it either. Sorry, bro. If you want to elaborate, I'm sorry. Feel free to comment and I'll point it out again.
All right. How can the Rockets afford a 3-year deal for Smart? I thought they were hard capped to the second apron. Lakers losing Smart hurts their defense and defensive culture. He would be very crucial to them. Lakers need Smart. Yeah, or they need, I mentioned on X, they need more Marcus Smart-like players, not less. It's part of the reason why losing Jordan Goodwin hurts so much. You need more players like Jordan Goodwin, not less. You needed to keep Goodwin and get Smart. You've got to stack up players like that. And unfortunately, they've not been able to do that. But again, we'll see what they ultimately do. There's a piece missing. I don't want to just delve into Lakers stuff, but it feels like something is missing to all of this. All we keep hearing are these kind of end of the bench, like, 8th, 9th man rotation players connected to like something is missing. Like these pieces are all filling around something else that maybe we just haven't heard about yet. Anyway, maybe that's my own naive hope there. But as far as the Rockets and their cap situation, I think it's key that the language was more than the $5.4 million that he's on the player option for this year. Because when we look at Houston, you look at their salary cap situation. They are actually below the first apron. They probably have some other moves to make though. So more than the $5.4 million. Well, it's more than that. $6.1 million, which is the taxpayer MLE that you could potentially offer. So if you did a 3-year, $6.1 million deal per, that would, with the raises, that would get you up to about $20 million. That could indeed be something that the Rockets could offer. And again, as of right now, they have just enough first apron space to offer the full MLE if they wanted to, but that's before they're factoring in the contract of Tari Eason, which could make things a little bit tricky there for them as well. So getting to that second apron where you're 35 million below right now, let's say you give Tari Eason, I don't know, let's call it somewhere between 15 to 20, then Marcus Smart gets 6. Okay, now you still have a little bit of wiggle room to do some of the other stuff that you're going to need to do in terms of adding to this roster. That's what I took it as more than 5.4. Well, 6 is more than 5.4, and that could be the deal. And frankly, I think that's really good value if that's what you get Marcus Smart at.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said there.
It's funny, the Warriors trying to create 2020 Lakers team with the older LeBron and AD. Mm-hmm. They're trying to create a retirement Avengers team for one last run. Yeah, it's the Expendables. They're trying to create that last run with that. And they're not really trying to recreate the Lakers. They're trying to create, I don't know what, like the Team USA or something. Steph, LeBron, AD, Draymond, like that.
Jimmy would be going out in that, I'd imagine.
Jimmy would be going out. Jimmy would be going out. Yeah, he'd have to just for salary matching purposes.
Yeah. If they could move off Draymond, that'd be pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, and keep Jimmy?
Well, no, just as a separate deal.
Oh. Yeah, depending on what they can get.
Yeah. I'd move off Draymond.
Pelinka losing every free agent for Walker Kessler and Zaire Williams. We'll see what happens.
Well, I mean, like these guys, it's like there's been a lot of like Lakers aren't making a trade while all these other trades are happening. They're kind of like tied up right now because if you want them to go after like an RFA, for example, they kind of just can't even make a trade. Yeah. Maybe like they're kind of just stuck in limbo until we know exactly what their moves are.
I really think like the Rockets are kind of testing things here. With this stuff already getting out about a 3-year offer for Smart.
Yeah.
Like you can't have, I'm sure Rob Pelinka has had conversations about other players and every GM around the NBA has.
Yeah.
But you just don't want to get it out this early.
Yeah.
Tomorrow we'll find out for sure on player options for a number of players. And then the 30th is when free agency can officially begin. And at that point, we get past 3 p.m. Pacific time on the 30th on Tuesday. Great. Then whatever. 3-year deals out there for this player. Nobody's going to care because it's no longer tampering.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely. And so then at that point, it becomes more interesting. Like, okay, well, they didn't make this offer to Walker Kessler, like everybody's saying, or whatever. Okay, well, what do they really have planned? Were the Mitch Robinson rumors legit? Is he going to wind up on the roster? Like, are they?
It sure feels like it's going to be Mitch Robinson, doesn't it?
Yeah, like that one was kind of like I kind of look at these deals that are kind of like, oh, it seems like this is out there for this player at this salary number. I'm like, that's a little too much info. Like,
yeah,
you know. Like this Marcus Smart one, it kind of feels like that's when we see day one when it's just done.
Yeah. And you mentioned Mitch Robinson. Like, why is it already out there that a team is going to give Mitch Robinson the mid level? And it doesn't sound like that's speculation. Like we think he's worth that much. That's like, yeah, this is like that tells you there's probably already something in place.
Yeah, I just think that they're just waiting.
Like that.
They're just waiting until they're allowed to announce these things.
Just curious, can Luka and Hero work? If yes, could you see a 3-team trade? Giannis to the Heat, Hero and Ware to the Lakers. Then the Bucks get picks and some of the youngsters from the teams, AR versus Hero. I think the Hero stuff was in the event the Lakers lost Austin Reeves. That's my sense on it. Would be they were wanting to have a fallback plan in the event that Austin Reeves said, no, I'm going to free agency and I'm going to go to Detroit or wherever.
Yeah, I think they've done a good job of trying to keep their options open. Everything we've heard about their offseason for the most part has been about, just a backup plan, plan B, plan C type stuff. So I think that's at least encouraging.
Now, to the point, though, about Miami, and we were talking earlier about Miami needing guards and trying to find these different pieces. The Giannis trade has not been executed at this point, and it's not going to be until the league calendar flips. So they can still expand this trade, just like the Julius Randle trade to the Nets got expanded to now LaMelo Ball is going to the Wolves, and that could even be expanded again. They've got a big trade exception now. The Hornets could turn around, take some of these assets they got, throw another team into the mix, and next thing you know, it's Anthony Davis to the Hornets or Kawhi Leonard to the Hornets or something like that could happen, right? So these deals that are not done can be added to, can be expanded upon. So just because right now Miami is lacking guards, there are going to be avenues for them to go try to fix that. And there is always going to be the possibility for these deals to get shifted a little bit. Not that the main pieces are going to change, just that you can add on stuff to it in order to make a deal really kind of work. So could the Lakers still talk Kelly Ware and get involved in that trade? Sure. I don't think Tyler Hero makes sense. Could Miami get involved in it and wind up somehow getting a guard and all of it? Yeah, there's still ways that you can expand that trade all the way up until when it's executed.
Yeah. And just another reminder, Hero is not in Miami anymore.
Correct.
So, I mean, it's not complete technically. So technically I wasn't wrong. But he's
technically, you're right. Yes, technically, Tyler Hero is still under contract with the Miami Heat because the deal hasn't been done. But
I should have brought that up earlier, 30 minutes ago.
Yeah. That would have been the touche moment there. Let's take a look at this. Would you like this trade for the Lakers? Vando DA for Wendell Carter. I would like it. Orlando wouldn't. Good defense, decent shooter, Jake and Dalton. For Sadiq, I would like it. The Pelicans would not. And sign Bruce Brown and Gary Trent. Sure, I don't mind either one of those guys. But I can't see Orlando giving up Wendell Carter to turn him into DeAndre Ayton.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
And especially the word is out, DA's picking up that option.
Yeah, especially after just waiving Jonathan Isaac too. So
yeah. Could the Lakers trade Dalton and Vanderbilt for Brown from the Nuggets? Then they have more money to get Kessler. It's a very vanilla team, but both better on defense. Yeah, I mean, that would be a way for the Nuggets to save a little bit of money if they turn. Now, the Lakers would be offsetting some of that with the Vanderbilt contract, but sure, they could. Would they have the money to get Kessler? Well, Vando and Dalton is $16 million. Brown is what, 23 this coming year? Is that what he's at?
Oops. Something like that. I know he caps out at like 25.
No, 21. So okay, you're only that's the problem. You're only saving Denver $5 million. But yes, they would still have room. Now LeBron might be gone in that scenario, but you could still potentially have room to try to get. I mean, you could give him a contract offer, but again, the Jazz could just match it if you went after Kessler.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Mm-hmm. By the way, you notice OKC with what they did was they was really perfect for, which not a surprise, but not only did they get assets for Isaiah Joe and for Aaron Wiggins, but they sent them east. They sent them to Eastern Conference clubs and not to the West. So that, like, the Lakers could have absorbed those salaries. Some other teams could have swung a deal, and they didn't give those guys to Western Conference opponents. They got assets and sent them to the Eastern Conference. You literally could not have asked, aside from a team doing something crazy like giving up first-round capital or something, you couldn't have asked for anything better. They didn't have to. They cleared salary, didn't have to give up anything to do it, got picks back, and sent them to the Eastern Conference where they didn't make any of their opponents stronger. I mean, could not ask for a better situation for OKC.
Yeah, both those guys slide right into the Lakers' regular rotation. So that would have been pretty nice. But yeah, they did a great job. Just the assets alone would have been a great job. Turning two guys that could be useful, but you just weren't using unless you absolutely needed to go that far into your bench depth, into those picks and the flexibility that comes with that. Just great moves overall.
All right, let's get to. I saw this too. Jose said, according to Kevin O'Connor, Ja Morant is expected to be traded this week. Who's trading for him? Nobody wants Ja. They view him as negative value. Yeah, I think most teams would want assets back if they're trading for Ja Morant. I have the hard time with this too. Like, everybody knows Memphis is trying to move him. They've moved on. They've moved on from the Ja Morant era. That it's no longer Ja, Des Bane, Jaren Jackson. Des Bane and Jaren Jackson are already gone. It's only a matter of time. Ja Morant will be gone at some point. Mm-hmm. But where and for what? I have no clue. I look around the NBA and I just don't see a landing spot. That said, I also wouldn't have picked the Wizards I wouldn't have even thought of the Wizards as a landing spot for Trae Young. And here we are. So what team, if we were thinking outside of the box, could go get Ja Morant? Like, what would make sense?
Well, all the teams I thought that would have been interested said no, because like Minnesota, I thought they might have been interested. They said no and went and got another star guard.
Yeah.
Sacramento said, oh, sure, if you pay us. So unless they're willing to pay, I don't know where they're going to go, because I could keep going down the list. Maybe Phoenix flips him for Jalen Green or something like that. I don't know, but like, there's not like
Phoenix has said no. Out of Phoenix, they've said they are 100% out. No? John Gamadoro had that.
Everybody is saying no. So like,
right.
I don't know how you do this unless you're willing to give up just the picks. And do you really want to get him out of there that badly?
Like, every team is saying,
send the dude home.
We're not interested.
Just send him home. Like, yeah, just send him home. If it's that bad, goddamn, just send him home. Why would you give up picks?
What about Orlando? But they need shooting.
No, he's like the worst point guard they could get.
Right.
For what they need right now. Pairing him with Paolo Banchero would be disgusting.
The Heat had interest in the past, but they don't have the salaries to send out for him right now. And even if I could stack up Andrew Wiggins and Nikola Jovic, I'm not doing. I'd rather have Andrew Wiggins than Ja Morant on my team.
Okay, let's think outside the box. Toronto. Okay. Going to Toronto, maybe. Would that work?
Okay. I mean, Toronto is trying to get Kawhi right now. They've got a negative value contract, or at least not a great value, in Emmanuel Quickly at their guard spot right now. They're stuck with Jakob Poeltl, but I'm not taking Jakob Poeltl back.
Yeah,
I'm not wanting to. If I'm the
Memphis, I mean, if you could take back a cheaper deal for a couple of years, maybe.
That's an interesting one, though. We do know. I mean, they've got some salaries there. Like, if you could turn IQ and Poeltl into job, but would you even do that? Even if you're the guy, see, I wouldn't do that. I'd rather just let Ja walk away in a couple of years than have IQ on the books for 3 years and Poeltl for 4.
Yeah. Okay. What about Charlotte?
I think got Kobe White.
Actually, ironically, his lack of shooting shouldn't matter there.
It shouldn't matter as much.
Yeah, it shouldn't matter.
They got the pieces around him.
Yeah.
Maybe, but man, they just made these culture resetting moves by getting
that's
LaMelo
true.
Ball, Miles Bridges. I just can't.
Yeah, he's the exact type of player they're not going to go trade for.
Right. They just moved away from that. I mean, the Bulls have cap space. Could they? Because there's going to be some teams that are going to say, Ja, can you drag us to the 4th worst record in the NBA? We just don't want to be bottom 3.
Yeah.
What about the Bulls? Could the Bulls just say, look, we got a bunch of cap space to spend. If you kick in an asset, we'll absorb Ja Morant. We'll kick you back a player. Patrick Williams will send back to you. He's a lot less expensive than Ja. We'll absorb the rest of Ja's contract. I don't remember exactly. I think they have 30-ish million in cap space. So we'll absorb the rest of Ja's contract, kick us a pick or something. And Ja, we're going to give you the ball. Giddey and Matas Buzelis and all these other guys. They picked up Caleb in the draft. Go drag us to the 4th worst record in the NBA so that we're not a bottom 3 team.
Yeah, that may be his best destination. I don't.
Maybe it's Chicago. Atlanta. Somebody said Atlanta in the chat. They just drafted their point guard of the future.
Yeah. I don't.
People saying the Suns, but the Suns side of things has already come out and said they don't want it. And that's the hard part, Donnie, is every team that we think of that logically makes, like, people have said, well, Sacramento does dumb stuff. Sometimes it must be Sacramento. Sacramento is like, nope. If you give us 1st-round picks, we'll take them, but otherwise, no.
Yeah.
All these teams that we would think of have put it out there publicly that they don't want them.
Yeah, and they've all the other teams already got star guards. Like I saw a comment for Philly. Hell no, they're not going to trade for Ja.
Yeah.
They're set in the guard position. You know, the Lakers, obviously not. Miami, I don't think they even have the salaries to put together for a Ja trade at this point. But even if they did, that is not the type of point guard you need to put around Giannis and Bam. So I wouldn't do it if I was them. Dallas,
Kyrie.
They've got Kyrie. But also, like, I don't know. I don't. There's not a lot of places that are actually a good fit. So if you're going to set aside a good fit, maybe there are more options. But I think the reality is that they're going to have to pay somebody to take him, which is why I think the best bet is to either A, send him home if you're just that dead set on it, or B, let him recoup his value.
Let him get out there and play. And say, go do. We don't care if you get hurt in the process. Go do the cannonball to the rim stuff. Go be acrobatic. Go be the old version of Ja Morant. If you get hurt, it's not going to change your value is already sitting on the bottom right now. Yeah. Just go do your stuff. And if you can play well enough, then we'll be able to trade you.
Yeah. Shanghai Sharks is crazy.
Man.
Shanghai Sharks is crazy.
Like what salary level would Ja Morant have to be at to have interest?
Right now? The current Ja Morant?
Right now.
Honestly, I don't think I'd pay him more than $15 million right now.
Yeah.
Because of the injury. He's not playing games, and he's not been good when he's playing games.
And he's making 3 times that.
Like, and that's an MLE. Like, I'm just not, I don't think he's worth much more right now. That doesn't mean he can't look better. Doesn't mean he doesn't have a higher ceiling, but current Ja right now is not a $40 million player.
All right. Manny says, another reason it'll hurt to lose Smart is because it cost Jordan Goodwin to get him, and now we'll have neither. Fire Palenka. Well, what if they're losing him because they've got replacements already lined up? I don't know. Let the dust settle. See what happens. And we don't know for sure they're losing him, but I mean,
it sounds like
then the Nets want Rui, the Spurs want Rui, that these teams are linked to Marcus Smart. Could it also be that those teams, those players and their agents saw what happened with Austin Reeves and went, yeah, quick, get somebody else to say they're interested. They'll pay more as soon as you do that.
They saw the Austin playbook.
Real question, would Luka be okay waiting a year for Joker and free agency after promised in 2026 and LeBron thinking of retiring with every gray beard picture post? Do you think Luka would be cool with that? If Joker said, hey, save your money, I'll come join you in 2027.
I mean, if he knew for a fact.
If he knew for a fact, they would just sign 1-year contracts.
Yeah. Otherwise, no. Because you're wasting a year of his prime.
After
already having for a year and a half in.
Their talent might just be overwhelming. Yeah. But in terms of maximizing strengths and minimizing weaknesses, they're not a great pairing in that regard.
No, but they're probably the 2 best individual offensive players in the NBA. So.
Yeah. They would still be really good together.
Oh my God, you'd light teams up and you'd pick them apart too. The fit would be kind of weird. Also, you'd have probably the slowest team in the NBA, but you can make it work.
Looks like the Pistons aren't going to let Duren go, but in my opinion, he's a perfect fit. Already an all-star, going to be 23. Luka will raise his ceiling. Hope Rob can pull off a miracle. So Duren obviously had a really bad playoffs, but was third team All-NBA, all-star this year. Very, very, a breakout season for him. But it seems pretty clear Detroit is not going to, they're not even going to listen to trade off. It's the same thing that the Warriors did with Jonathan Kuminga, and it's why restricted free agency is so tough. You could say, well, I've got another offer out there for more. This team wants to trade for me. Too bad. We don't want to trade you. All right. Tell them to actually give you an offer and then we'll match it. Well, they won't give me an offer because you'll match it. Well, too bad. And you're stuck. I don't see Duren actually leaving Detroit. I think he winds up staying, especially if Cade Cunningham wants him to stay. Restricted free agency is a pain in the butt. And I don't think Detroit lets Duren go, especially because even if, let's say they trade Duren in a Jaylen Brown trade, which you could argue for doing. Jaylen Brown's a very good, he's a better player than Duren is. You can argue for that. But then who's their center? That's the problem. Who plays the 5 for them if you go do that? Right now, how many teams are looking for centers right now? So many teams. And does Detroit really want to go into the market now with everybody else and fight it out for centers because they moved Jalen Duren? No, they'd rather just keep Jalen Duren.
Yeah, that makes the most sense for them.
All right, we'll do a few more, and then we'll let Donnie go get some sleep. Vanderbilt was the Luka stopper. He doesn't have that job now that Luka's on the team. Love the channel, guys. Thank you. Well, appreciate you being here, Advanced Meerkat. Hakuna Matata to you. As far as Vando, yeah, I think the writing's on the wall for him. I think if they can't trade him, and they would probably have to attach some type of asset to trade him, I would not be surprised if he winds up being waived and stretched this summer.
I think there's a pretty good shot of that because JJ has shown that he does not play Vando. He just doesn't play him.
Yeah.
I don't want to say he doesn't like him, but he basically doesn't want to. He doesn't like him. Basically, I don't want to say it because I don't know. But he doesn't.
I'm sure he likes him as a
as a person. He doesn't like him as a person,
but as a basketball, he doesn't fit what JJ wants.
Yeah. So he doesn't want to play him at all. So and it's proven that even if he's healthy, he's not gonna do it. So and if he does, it's for like 8 minutes maybe. So might as well get that guy off the roster.
It's like JJ's looking down the bench and he's like, okay, who's healthy? I got Vando or Dalton Connect. Shit.
That's what he said at the post-game press or the presser at the end of the season.
Yeah.
He said, man, I need depth. Depth isn't just, what did he say? The guys that are 1 through 8 or something. He's like, it's the other guys. I need the other guys.
Said, in front of Rob Pelinka, he basically said, I don't have anybody I can put in the game.
Yeah, because he looks down the bench and is like, God damn. We got Dalton, we got Bronny, we got Vando. I ain't playing that guy. We got Cleaver. God damn. Well, who am I putting in the game?
I think the Jock Landale thing is to replace Maxi Kleber.
Probably.
And he's better. He can do that just fine, but that's what I'm hoping anyway. Fred VanVleet's knee is clearly cooked. Raphael Stone is a bad GM. He just keeps adding non-shooters. Yeah, they need shooting. They need shooting. They need creation ability, and Fred VanVleet can help with that, but I think they need even more. I was shocked. I was so surprised the Pistons didn't add more shooting and creation. I was shocked the Rockets didn't do it either. I'd like go get Kobe White, go get somebody that can help you create, and they just didn't do it. Tari is walking because the only way they can get smart is going above the taxpayer MLE, which hard caps them at the first apron. That's why I think, because the word is out that it's going to be north of his $5.4 million player option, it might be the taxpayer MLE. Like if you're committing 3 years, especially if there's no option or if there's a player option on it or something, maybe every other offer for Marcus Smart includes team control, like team option or non-guaranteed money to protect themselves from Smart's injury history. But maybe the Rockets say, you know what, we'll give you 3 years straight up, and that gets them to do it. So that would still be more than the 1 year $5.4 million option that he's got right now. Not if he's healthy, he's worth more than that, frankly. But I don't know that Tari Eason walks away. He's a very, very good wing, but I think there's a world where you can bring him back and get Marcus Smart. But you're right, it would require Smart not taking above the taxpayer MLE, because if he does, then bringing back Tari Eason gets very, very tricky to do. Donnie, does Houston need to break up, like, from a bigger picture level? Alperen Sengun, Ahmed Thompson on the floor at the same time gives you too many players to help off of on the perimeter. Do they need to do something more dramatic than just adding Marcus Smart and saying he can give us a little bit more creation and ball handling and be a streaky shooter?
They clearly have a type, though. They like these types of guys like him, Holiday, DFS. They kind of have a type. But maybe that just comes in the form of a roster rotation shift,
Yeah.
Because you also have like Reed, who is a bit small, but he's feisty, I guess I should say. He's got quick hands and things like that. But yeah, they have some entry points. But I think for them, if they have, their guys taking forward steps on the offensive end, that's all that should really matter.
And this is a good point. The Rockets get Steven Adams back next year too, in addition to Fred VanVleet.
Yeah.
So
I think there's a lot of pressure on Fred to come in and try to paper over the problem last year. So you just have to hope that, again, the guys that have been having the ball the last season, plus Fred, plus Reed, maybe some Smart, that's enough. It sounds like a lot in aggregate, but is it? I'm not sure.
All right. Let's go here. Rob needs to send Cameron Carr up to Cammy's lookout to have him train and develop in a hyperbolic time chamber. Tony, what the hell is he talking about? We need his Halo ASAP as possible. ASAP as possible? Isn't that what that already means?
Yeah.
As soon as possible? ASAP as possible? As soon as possible as possible. Anyway, that was the only thing that actually made sense to me out of that entire couple of sentences there. What does this mean? I'm assuming like he's going to evolve to the next level or something.
Just so Kami's lookout is it is a lookout high up in the sky where quote unquote God resides. That's what Kami means. And on that lookout, he's an alien. He's not like literally God, but he is God. It's a bit. Anyway, on that lookout, there's this room. It's called the Room of Spirit and Time. You go in there, and basically, I don't remember the exact variance of like how much. I think it's a year is a day on the outside. You'd spend a year in there, and it's like a day on the outside. And so you're able to. It's a battle series, so they're able to train and get stronger and stronger.
So you could spend like 10 years in there training, and you've gotten 10 years worth of training in there, but really only 10 days has passed.
Yes. So that's what he's saying. Gotcha. So he'd be better sooner. That's what he's trying to say.
I just think of Neo from the Matrix, the whole jujitsu. I'm going to learn jujitsu.
They like trolling you.
That kind of stuff. All right.
Yeah. I got to pull up the exact number. Right now, I'm just too incoherent right now.
All right. Well, whatever. Yeah. Hey, whatever it takes to get Cameron Carr. Did you see there was a clip going around of Cameron Carr's dad saying that Luka and Austin already reached out? No,
I didn't.
Already reached out to welcome to the team and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, yep. It's Luka and Austin. Like, what do you LeBron? There hasn't been much communication with LeBron reportedly. You think there's been communication with Luka? I bet there has been.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's interesting. Vando, Ayton Connect, a first and a swap for Miles Turner and Ware. So you're getting both bigs. I don't like Turner. I don't like his contract. I don't like the rebounding deficiency you've got with him.
I think Turner's frankly a little overrated, if I'm being honest with you.
Oh, yeah, and he's got a long-term 3 years on that contract. But you're shedding a bad salary in Vando. At least Ayton is he's an expiring contract. But Ayton, if you told me though, Ayton at $8 million or Turner at 30, Turner's a better center than Ayton, but
I think that's a better value at $8 million. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think Aiden at $8 million, and he's rumored to be picking that up, is actually the better value player there.
Yeah, I'm sorry. And I know we hate him now because we had him for a year. Everyone hates him now. But yeah,
Aiden is fine as a center. You're just not thrilled if he's your starter, like for the long haul. But he's fine. It's not bad.
I don't think Turner is $22 million better.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to. But it means you get Kelly Ware, who's got some upside.
Yeah.
I don't know. But would you do this first? And you got to be pretty convinced that that's going to really move you forward if you do this.
You gotta.
There is a high ceiling from doing this, though.
Yeah. Well, because
like
Ware
if Ware hits, yeah.
Yeah, you're taking 3 guys two guys you didn't even play, and one you'd love to upgrade from. And you're technically getting an upgrade. Even if I think Turner's a worse value, you are getting upgrades.
Right.
So, and you get some versatility. You get a lot of shooting, between those two.
Floor space and bigs are all the rage right now.
Yeah. So there's a way you could I could talk myself into it. Don't get me wrong. I could do it.
Like Sandra Mamukelashvili is rumored to be getting 10 million plus per year.
Yeah.
Like these floor space and bigs are in high demand suddenly. I wonder why. Must be that Wemby guy.
Keep the first and take twos. No.
Oh my God. No. If LA loses Smart, Goodwin's going to hurt even more. Yep. 100%. Did you hear Robinson might be getting 28 a year? Mitch Robinson? No. First of all, I didn't hear that, but I would not do that. Even if it cost me Mitch Robinson. I'm not even super comfortable going to like 18, like anything over the mid-level. He's often hurt. He's only like a 15 to 20 minute a night guy. I don't think Mitch Robinson can be the big addition at the center spot, at least for LA or any other team. But $28 million a year is crazy for Mitch Robinson.
Yeah, it was crazy when Hartenstein got a deal like that.
Yeah, and Hartenstein got that deal essentially to pay for a team option on the final year, so they could change that deal once they got there, and they had plenty of money to burn at that point.
He actually plays.
Yeah, that would be insane to give him that much money.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Obviously, a lot going on around the NBA. We appreciate all of you who have been rocking with us. All of you have hit the subscribe button. If you haven't done so yet, please make sure you do it. Hit that subscribe button. Double check right now. And also hit the like button on this video. Donnie and I, we've been doing what we can to make sure we stay on top of everything and keep everybody up to date with what's going on in this crazy, crazy time around the NBA. And I got to say, we are so, so appreciative for all the support we've gotten, all the growth that we're seeing on this channel, how many people have reached out, the recognition this channel is getting right now. Absolutely incredible. We truly appreciate all of you that are here and think that we're really building something special here. So thank you guys for all being here with us throughout this.
Yeah, what he said. It's been really fun, and we're looking forward to the future of all this, and we appreciate all you guys. It's been, every day, frankly, we're looking at the stuff on the back end like, oh, this is crazy. Our numbers are going crazy, and this is really cool. So we appreciate it.
Yep. And I've gotten so many people have reached out with kind words about Bulletin and all of that. So again, thank you guys very much. We appreciate all of you. Tomorrow, big day in terms of the player options have to officially drop dead for the player options to officially be decided upon. Same thing with team options as well. So should get that information coming out tomorrow. The next day, we're here. Free agency officially begins and teams can start talking to players for other squads. So again, make sure that you guys have subscribed if you haven't done so yet. Thank you again for joining us tonight. Till next time, everybody. See ya and stay safe.